Hi, on this video I'm going to share with you today why it's my mission in life to help people. To help people to find true love, not just outside with other partners, but inside, because it all starts with you. We all have a story. Life is not easy. It's not meant to be easy. Sorry, but it's not meant to be easy. The challenges that we all face are designed in a way when we use them correctly to help us lift and grow. And you know that, we've all got a story. And for that reason, I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you today. Like I say, it hasn't always been living this dream life in my, multi-million pound retreat here in Marbella. It was a different story for quite some time. I had a brilliant relationship with a doctor. So I was always a little bit entrepreneurial and quite a powerful manifester, which we all are. So from the age of 20, I had a vision board. I was lucky enough to discover NLP and the law of attraction as we now know it. And I put a vision board on my wall, and sure enough, I attracted the great things that I had on that vision board to me. I had the love of my life was on there. I wanted to meet someone who was dynamic and amazing, and I had a successful business. This was from a point when literally I was a single parent and I had nothing. But I did have my own resourcefulness and the power of belief and the power of the mind. So I did know this stuff pretty young, really. So by the time I was 23, I'd manifested a successful business. We had a model and promotions agency, and I literally employed 400 people. We had the Formula One contracts. We had some really great contracts with that, and I built that up. It was fantastic. I felt great in my life, and literally like nothing could stop me. Like you are before life kicks it out of you, Also on that vision board was the love of my life, somebody really special. And sure enough, it was actually the powerlifting champion of Scotland and a doctor who knocked on my front door. Wow, if that's not proof that this stuff works, well, what is? And, we fell very quickly in love. We moved to Spain and we set up doctor's practices here. And then I embarked on a journey of self-discovery. And I wanted to sort of place myself within that practice as we were working as a team. So I learnt psychology and I began to learn NLP. I'd had some challenges when I was young, and to be honest, NLP really focused me. It helped me to clear those limiting blocks and limiting beliefs and not feeling good enough, because I actually brought myself up from 11 years old. So there was a few issues around that, around my parenting and, around feelings of self-love. So I used all those techniques and then I wanted to learn them to help other people. So life was good for a while. We built up lots and lots. I mean, we probably had about £3 million worth of properties, houses over a 6-7 year period. Hugely successful as a team, and we worked as a team. And there should end the happy ever after, but hey, life's not like that. I clearly hadn't learned enough. So the blissful happy ever after, unfortunately, wasn't for me, because what happened then was my husband had a tragic accident, and after 10 years together, at 38, he died. Boom, one day he was there, the next day he was gone. So I was left with 2 small children. Beautiful children, but left on my own to deal with it and the running of the businesses. And I think at a point when my daughter very shortly afterwards got meningitis, and I was sitting by her bedside, came some of my greatest revelations, really. The doctor had gone, who should have been there, her dad, to support me through. He wasn't. And I began asking, why me? Why has this happened? Why, can't life be as it was, blissful and happy? And I surrendered those questions, because in spite of my training as a yoga teacher, I studied 4 years with authentic Indians. So as a yoga tantra teacher, the psychology, it was almost like those tools alone, worked, but weren't enough to give me the answers that I was searching for. And I think we're all searching for answers. And the only person that knows the answers to the questions you've got is actually yourself and deep in your soul. So for me, I went out and I tuned in. I was asked for guidance. Show me, guide me. Why has this happened? Because everything does happen for a reason. It was a challenging time though, and although I was guided at least to, in fact, we pictured my daughter, I got this message at that point where she was really ill in hospital, and I looked behind me, the doctors were trying to resuscitate her, and, awful time. I just couldn't, she was 2 years old, bear to, having lost my husband, look at losing my daughter within weeks. At that point of surrender, an answer came. I was told just to picture her singing, and that's all I needed to do, and it was going to be okay. So knowing the power of the mind, I messaged as many friends as I could and asked them also to picture her singing. And sure enough, as we were in an ambulance going to a more specialist hospital, about an hour and a half later, she was still unconscious, her little body was fitting, the doctors were panicked. But we went into the room. And within about an hour, she sat up, my little angel, and she just sang a song, which I'll always remember, obviously to this day, which was actually How Much Is the Doggy in the Window. But she sang this song, she didn't say hello, mummy. And it was at that point that I felt my prayers from surrendering and asking had been answered. She went on to make an amazing recovery, and thank God for that. I didn't have to face, the worst nightmare anyone could imagine of losing a child. So that gave me guidance, and it showed me that there is something out there, and when you tune into it, and ask, it's as easy as that. Ask for guidance and be specific, with what you want. So I use that guidance. I use it every day since. I've used it every day since. I use it every day now. I teach people how to tune into their own inner, it's like your higher self. When you act on your gut and you act with what really feels right, I teach people that, but what I take that one step further is to be able to get you literally physical signals, which is this good for me? Is it right? Yes or no? So I teach people how to get the answers, almost like you would get from a psychic if you went to a psychic, because we've all got an inner psychic. So from that day, 10 years ago, I was guided. It doesn't mean to say, though, that it was an easy journey, because I went from having everything, all the abundance, to losing everything. It was a hard challenge. Obviously we had these practices we'd built up. I was then having to employ doctors. There was a lot of expenses. I was trying to hold on to everything, juggling, and trying to sort of manage the financial area as well as the emotions of my children and myself after losing my husband. I do feel blessed to have had that 10 years, and looking back, I realised really why that was meant to happen, because everything in life does happen for a reason, even though you can't see it at the time. And, out of the greatest challenges come the greatest learnings. So wherever you are in your life right now, and if it's in that difficult place and you're having those traumas or tragedies or things are just not working out, all I can say to you is just trust, because when you go so low, and it was like I had to go so low. I mean, I ended up probably looking at about 4 or 5 years ago, I was sleeping on a floor at my mum's house with 2 children. All right, so I'd gone from all this, still believing, but there was no option. It was everything I was doing was being blocked. Every which way I turned, there was blockages, and there's difficult times in Spain hit. So I moved back to England. Thankfully, because of my resourcefulness and my power of belief, that was only a 4-day period, but it was a big shock of me just going, right, where do I go from here? And I had to reassess all of my life. I knew that I could have stepped into, a relationship. There's always many offers, and you can have many offers around you, and it could seem like, that would cure all your problems, but that was never where I was guided to. And I still believe that now, that you should never be with someone for any superficial reasons. If you do, it's not going to work. So you need to find your soulmate. So I stayed almost detached in relationships for a while. In fact, I dated people. I was totally honest, and I had integrity, and I was dating 3 people at one point. And why? Because I didn't believe that you could find everything you want in one person. And was I ever going to find the magic of what I'd had before? I mean, like a soul connection, something that just went boom, something that set my world on fire, my teammate, my best friend, someone we worked with. And I guess in a way I was a little bit scared to even enter into anything like that. So I went along the road of, my 3 lovers and this one for that and that one for that. And it was nice because I had different connections. I had experiences of different types of relationships. And I don't necessarily say that for some people an open relationship is wrong. I don't believe in affairs. I think that when people lie and cheat to each other and, you know, causes all that mistrust, then you're going to have problems. So, yeah, I wasn't ready to settle at that point. But then I began to change my way of thinking. Okay, so I got on the path, I worked hard, I worked smart, to be honest, actually. It wasn't about the hours I put in. I was very much guided and surrendered again, like I had in that darkest moment. I surrendered and asked, show me, guide me, what am I meant to do? I went back and used the techniques that I teach now to go back and literally clear the past, all those traumas that had happened, to take the lessons, to take the learnings, and clear away that negative emotion. So I went on my own journey and almost like redesigned my past as if it had all been empowerment. And of course, no one's past's all empowering, but when we can go back in a specific way and take those nuggets of wisdom, then that was really powerful for me. So then about a year ago, I decided, right, I am actually ready again to meet the one, you know, and I'd had a couple of disastrous relationships. I was like, I'd sort of, you know, I know the theory on this. I'm a relationship therapist. It's what I've done. I've loved, I've helped, you know, literally hundreds, thousands of couples to improve their relationship. I've matched singles and cleared them, but I wasn't quite practicing it fully in myself. So I went internally again and was asked, and it was really, Louise, it's time to just practice what you preach. If you are ready to meet the person that you want to meet, and that was the point, I wasn't, so I manifested an open situation. But once I truly became ready for nothing less actually than my soulmate, somebody who was almost like my twin soul, and once I decided that in my mind, I wrote a list and I jotted down all the qualities that person would have. There was literally like 30 things on this list. My friends looked at it and said, Louise, you're crazy. You know, that man does not exist on this planet. And I was like, well, you know what? If it doesn't, and if he doesn't, then I'm just happy on my own. And, you know, being casual about things as long as I've got integrity with that, because it's always nice to have, to be dating and have male company. So that was where I was at. And it's almost like when you don't need it, because when we need something, you know, we push it away, and I really didn't need it and I really didn't necessarily want it. But if I did have another relationship, it would be the absolute best of everything. So yeah, I wrote my list of 30 things. I looked at it on a night and went, yes, that's it. I can feel it like I have it now, you know, but I also surrender it. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. And then not so long ago, well, that person stepped into my life. It was almost as instantaneous, because I had like love at first sight was one of my requests. And it was almost like a boom, internet, intense connection, like what I'd had with my husband when he knocked on the door. I wanted nothing less than that again. So I feel really blessed to have manifested that into my life, and now I help people to do the same. So wherever you're at, whatever traumas you've had in the past, and everybody has had something, if you've been cheated on, you know, if you've been betrayed, if you've had negative experiences in relationships, they can all jade you and then ensure that then patterns just repeat. So I found that the only way is to love yourself, which is why I teach people all the techniques of how to have more self-love, lift your vibration, because energetically we're all vibrating at a frequency. And if your frequency and your energy is low, you're going to meet that person on that lower vibration. When your energy is high, and we do that through the mind techniques and through the yoga and tuning into nature and all these empowerment things that we can do, also acts of surrender, like what I said. When your vibration is high and you feel at your absolute best, which is where I take people, then you'll match what I call your whole mate, because you've not got a situation where you've got two halves looking, you know, for to make each other whole. You're whole already, and if you both bring that to the table, then amazing things happen. So after helping people for many years, the natural progression for me, once people are feeling whole and incomplete, which is also, by the way, the work I do with couples as well, to lift them. I take them separate and I lift them, make them feel loved enough, and we lift them, then we bring the couples together. So it works in relationships as well as working with people that are single and looking to find their whole mate or their soulmate. So yeah, the natural progression for me was the matchmaking. I believe everyone out there has a soulmate. I think, unfortunately, through pressures from society and peer pressure, we sometimes settle for less. And, you know, I would urge you, if you're listening to this, to never settle for less than the absolute best in everything in life. You know, it's about your identity. Who are you? What are you worth? You know, so I work with people to really get a clear identity on who they are, what they want, and, you know, at their very peak. And once you begin to feel at your very peak and you begin to feel abundant and that you don't actually need anything, that's for sure you're going to attract it into your life. So I absolutely love the work I do. It hasn't been an easy journey for me. And I know it hasn't been an easy journey for you, but that's okay, because it's all brought you to the perfect place you're meant to be. And I'm here to tell you, and hopefully to be a little bit of an example that, you know, you can have anything that you want. If you believe it, you really can achieve it. And that's what I'm about. That's my mission in life now, is to help people to have more love for themselves, overflow from that full cup so that they have more love to give. And you know what? You can attract something absolutely beautiful into your life, as I have. I have it all now. I feel absolutely blessed. I feel I got my happy ending, and who knows, there could be another chapter, but I'll tell you, all the challenges I've had have made me ready for anything. I'm stronger than I've ever been before. And you know what, it hasn't been an easy journey. Like I said, you know, I've been so down in all areas. And I also discovered that actually your sort of monetary and financial area is linked very much through the chakras and the energy points to your sexuality and also to where you are at in your relationship. So the two are very linked. It's almost like when you get your relationship and sexual energy right, which is from the root chakra, the financial part of your life will also correct itself. So the two things are very much linked. So when you get, you know, the relationship part of your life balanced and your sexual energy flowing and you're overflowing that cup of love, you know what? You're going to be on your soul journey. You're going to be sending out whatever it is you've come to do. You're going to feel so positive that abundance is also going to pour at you. And that's what I have now. So rather than, you know, at one time I was like, I've got to make ends meet, got to, you know, it's all about what money I can earn and I've got to do it just to, you know, with two small children to pull back. And then when I actually released that and thought, no, I've got to go out in the world and speak my truth. Again, I tuned in, show me, guide me, what am I here for? And when I did that, it became very clear. I'm here to help people to find love for themselves, spread out that love. And you know what, that's my mission. And of course, in doing it, you know, I have all the abundance come to me and I always share that out as well amongst everybody who comes into my life. I'd like to think that, you know, I'm overflowing enough to be able to share that out. So I hope you enjoy listening to some of the nuggets of wisdom. I mean, I'm a highly trained sex and relationship therapist, not just coming at it from a psychological point of view, although that's very important. I also, like I said, I work with authentic Indians for 4 years. So I know how to take those energy blocks, even if it's from past, even you could even go past life with this stuff, or you go back into your younger years. We need to clear out all that and to really get you on track. Focus on the future you want. And there's specific ways we teach that 100% of the time, whatever you truly want, when it's put into your future timeline in a certain way, then you will get that. Be it the love, you know, the romance, the perfect partner. And yeah, I feel blessed. I'll be getting married next year. I have 3 weddings to go to as well through people that I've matchmade. And, you know, I'm blessed to be on the journey. And I just wish you all the same. And, you know, subscribe to me and I promise you I will help you to reach the highest level you could ever dream that you can be in all areas, because that's my mission and that is what I'm here for.